Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 566 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I'm so glad to be here with you. This episode is all about the power of showing up. And here we are. Look at us showing up. But really, seriously, whether you're starting something new or you're just trying to keep going, this episode's for you. So I was doing yoga the other day, as I often talk about, because I've been doing it regularly now, 3 days a week, and I love it. But I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I have a spot. If you do yoga or if you do things regularly, you probably have a spot that you like. So I was a little bit later than normal, and my spot was taken. So I ended up in the front of the room, and I was next to this woman who is a regular, just like I am, and she has a beautiful practice, and she makes every pose look like a ballet. And I also failed to mention to you that the front of the yoga room where I am now puts you about 6 inches away from a full-length mirror that spans the entire wall, which is also why I don't like to be in the front of the room. But I mean, I've been doing yoga for years and it's gotten a lot better, but I still have a long way to go on lots of the poses. And on that day in particular, I felt a little tired, and really the only word, when I was talking to my little sister Molly about it, the only word I could really use to describe the way I felt was clunky. Like practicing next to this ballerina wasn't helping me feel less clunky. Now, I don't usually compare myself because I'm usually in there just focused on each pose and trying to get through it. But when you're that close to the mirror, it's kind of hard not to. And I was being extra hard on myself that day, but as they often do, the instructor kind of notices the energy of the room, and she made me feel so much better. She said this, she said, "Not every day when we come to our mat are we going to have a perfect flow or feel like we nailed it, but every day you show up for yourself counts. Just being here counts. Just by showing up, you're telling yourself you matter." I felt like that was just like a warm hug. I'd been so caught up in how, my poses weren't just right during class and didn't look like the lady next to me, and how I felt kind of awkward and tired, that I forgot why I was even going to yoga. I mean, it's to feel stronger and just take time for myself to keep growing. I mean, I left that class after she, gave her words of wisdom. I really didn't care about the mirror anymore. I was just proud that I got there. It made me realize how often that we let perfection get in the way of progress. And we think if we don't win the gold medal, it doesn't count. Or if we don't nail it, it doesn't count. But that's where we're wrong. You see, her words really resonated with me, and I bet they resonate with you too. Because how often do we beat ourselves up for not being perfect, for not looking like the ballerina in whatever we're trying, whether it's starting a new job or learning a new skill or even just trying to be a better version of ourselves. So that yoga class is a perfect metaphor for life, because we're all in that room. We are all in that room, and we are just trying to do the best that we can. And sometimes we're just a little too close to the mirror, comparing ourselves to someone else or trying to live up to our own expectations, which can be kind of high sometimes. But here's the thing, the real win is just getting to the mat. The real key is consistency, the ability to show up even when you don't feel like it. That's what counts. I mean, to back it up a little bit with science, it's, I read the book Atomic Habits by Dr. James Clear. I talked about it years ago on the podcast, but he said that habits are built by frequency, not perfection. Every time you show up, even if it's messy, you're rewiring your brain to make that action easier next time. I mean, that's incredible to know. And there's a study from the University College of London that found that it takes about 66 days of consistent action to form a habit. But the key is to start small and just keep doing it. So when you're feeling clunky, like I did in that yoga class, know that every single little step is literally building the version of you that you're working towards. It's rewiring your brain to make that thing easier the next day. I think that's super powerful. Whenever you start something new, I mean, whether it's a fitness journey, a new job, or a relationship, or maybe you're just working on your mindset, It's easy to get caught up in wanting to be perfect. I mean, you see the person who's been at it for years and they make it look effortless. But what you don't see is the years of showing up behind the grace. That grace didn't just happen overnight. The lady after class, I told her, I was like, you have a beautiful practice. And she said, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I've been working in that one pose, because I told her, I was like, that pose is really hard and you nailed it. And she said, I've been working on that pose for 10 years and I still feel like I don't have it. You see, I mean, I didn't see all that hard work that she's put in. I just saw that day. And success isn't about nailing it every time. It's about consistency. She's been doing it for 10 years. She's been practicing that for a long time. But it's also about telling ourselves, hey, you know what? I matter enough to try again today. I was listening to Tony Robbins, one of his latest podcast episodes, on how to stop chasing happiness and start creating it instead. What a title. I love it. But the episode featured a nun named Sister Shivani, and she was sharing her wisdom about happiness. And she talked about how important it is to start your day with intention, so you can set the tone of your day instead of letting someone else set the tone of your day. And sometimes when we get on social media first thing in the morning or email, we're letting someone else set the tone for us. But she said that when we set an intention, it's like planting a seed. It shapes everything that grows that day. And I loved that thought. And so I thought, okay, well, that's my goal for this week. I'm not going to look at social media until I've meditated, exercised, and set my intention for the day, because sometimes I fall into that. But that was my goal. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So the next morning, as I always do on podcast days when they come out, I will share them on X. First thing, that's the first thing I do. But as you can imagine, when I popped on X to share my podcast, something caught my eye. A post caught my eye. 20 minutes later, there I am, still scrolling. It's kind of like an alcoholic stepping foot in a bar. So I hadn't meditated, I hadn't exercised, I hadn't set my intention for the day, and it had only been one day since I set that goal for myself. Now, fortunately, I managed to shake it off, telling myself, okay, all right. I literally said it out loud. So we begin again. And that's what I did. And I took my phone and got my meditation app. I've gotten it to where I do it for 15 minutes now, and I did my meditation for 15 minutes, and then I set my intention for the day. And that shift made the whole day feel different. It would have been really easy just to say, well, I've ruined the morning already, so anything I do doesn't count. But it does count. I still meditated. I still set an intention. I just did it a little bit later than I had planned. And I learned a valuable lesson. I have to be really aware when I'm putting my podcast on social media, because it is so easy to get hooked, isn't it? And here's the thing, we're so quick to focus on what we didn't do right. I didn't follow through with my goal exactly like I said I would, or that workout wasn't hard enough, that gift wasn't expensive enough, that project just wasn't flawless. But every time you show up, every time you try, every time you put a little piece of your heart into something, that counts. It's building something. It's moving you forward. It's rewiring your brain. So I have to ask, where are you still showing up, even though it's hard? And are you giving yourself credit when you do that? You may be juggling a million things and still making time for that friend or for your mom. That counts. Maybe you're trying to eat healthier and you had pizza last night, but you made a smoothie this morning. That counts. Or maybe you're working on a dream and it's messy and slow, but you're still taking little steps. That counts too. And I know a lot of you out there are starting something new because you're listening to the Wildly Successful Lifestyle podcast. So maybe a side hustle, maybe you're starting a new hobby, or just trying to get through a tough season. And I bet that you've had a few days where you feel like you're just not enough. But I got to remind you, every time you get out of bed, every time you try again, you're winning. Because it's hard when you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway, right? You got to give yourself credit for that. So how do you make it showing up a habit, especially when you're feeling clunky, you're kind of comparing yourself? Well, I've come up with 3 quick tips to try. First of all, First thing you have to do is make your goal so attainable it's impossible to fail. So you set a goal, make it attainable. Remember from our last episode that happiness is progress. So an attainable goal is a good way to make progress. So maybe you just say, I'm going to write one sentence of my novel, or I'm going to stretch for 1 minute. Second thing is ditch the mirror. Limit your time on social media or around comparison traps that make you feel less than. And finally, celebrate when you do show up. Every time you do it, give yourself credit. Those little wins add up. And my challenge for you today is to pick one thing you've been struggling to be consistent with and make a goal in that area that's attainable. And commit to doing it for 7 days. Maybe it's meditation. Make the goal to meditate for 1 minute every day for 7 days. 1 minute, no more. After 7 days, if you want to do more, fine, but we're looking for consistency right now. Or maybe it's to exercise. Make a goal to walk for 10 minutes the next 7 days. No more than 10 minutes though. After 7, you can go longer. The idea is to make it so easy you can't fail. And remember to ditch the mirror. Don't compare yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. This is about you. And after each day that you do what you said you're going to do, give yourself credit for the win. It's just 7 days. I'm doing it with you. Mine is no X until mid-morning. Yes, I am beginning again. Share this with 3 people who inspire you. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.